And here's the other thing. You might not change my mind this time, but that's not to say, like, you know what, I'm really starting to see why they feel that way. Or vice versa, for that matter. But I'm not going to punch you in the throat because I don't agree with you on something. At least not on camera.
Woo, welcome. You have now entered Mad Warfare, mutually assured distraction, where we explore the weird, terrifying, and sometimes hilarious ways war is fought today, and how we can all protect our minds before we go too mad to find them.
Oh my!
Dangerous pattern. Dangerous pattern. Dangerous pattern.
Okay, you talk if you haven't got a brain.
Dangerous pattern. Dangerous pattern. Dangerous pattern.
Oh, a little interruption to say this episode is made possible by Randori Resources. If you'd like to train your mind the way athletes train their bodies, check out Randori Resources, randori-resources.com. What does it mean to be a hero? How do we decide, and what happens when we have wildly different views on who's the hero and who's the villain? Today on Mad Warfare, we're looking at hero narratives as a strategic tool, a way to inspire, recruit, unite, and, yes, sometimes weaponize. And today we're asking, how might these stories bring people together before we tear each other apart? I'm Jocelyn Brady.
I'm Sean Anthony Guillory.
And our guest today is an entrepreneur veteran, a founder of Heroes Media Group. He's built platforms that amplify the voices of veterans, first responders, and community heroes. And like us, he's exploring how stories might help reconnect a divided country. Please welcome Mr. Adam Bird. Yay!
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Happy to be here.
And first question, Adam. So you built a whole media company around amplifying hero voices. What does hero mean to you?
Great question. Me personally, I've defined a hero as our community heroes. So you have our military, your veterans, firefighters, first responders, educators, and then a clergy piece in there as well. If you ask, the solid definition would be anybody could be a hero to anybody else, really. At Heroes Media Group, that's what we consider our everyday heroes, are those that put their lives on the line, that are doing things that are not necessarily for themselves, but for other people, and trying to make the world a better place.
Was there a moment in your life that you're talking about what we might call everyday heroes, right? The people all around us working to make us safe and save us when we're in trouble. Was there a moment in like your childhood that you realized that's what a hero was?
No, because I think my childhood, I looked up to athletes, because I wanted to be a sports athlete, baseball, basketball players, like things that you really followed. I never really followed the military much, other than I had an uncle that graduated from West Point. Law enforcement was just like, hey, those are good guys, and they're enforcing the rules. Don't do anything stupid. And then like the firefighters are like, those were the cool guys because they were putting out fires and saving people. And then doctors and nurses, the medical professionals. But I never necessarily looked at them as heroes. It wasn't until later on in life where the definition of that kind of changed, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I looked up to like comedians, and I still do, but like the definition of hero changes over time.
It just depends on how you look at life in general, and just quite honestly, a lot of life lessons with many comedians. So yeah, when I started Heroes Media Group, it was, let's focus on what we call the everyday heroes. So how I started Heroes Media Group, you really got to kind of look what happened in my life prior to that. So we started the first all-veteran podcast network in 2012, or what we believe was the first one. There wasn't anybody doing it to the extreme of what we were doing it at that time. People would just ask me, hey, can you help me? I want to start a podcast. How do I do it? And then I was like, okay, I can grow this business model more. And at that time I was pretty good at production. So I started doing most of the production myself. And then it just warped. It just gradually grew. And to be clear, I wasn't creating anything new. I wasn't, the technology and everything was there. It was, I wanted to change how media was delivered and consumed in a sense of, I think a lot of us would agree that there's a lot of negativity in the world right now, has been. And it's just negative. So let's put a more positive spin on this. Let's bring people in that want to create and share more positive stories and help other people find their purpose in life so we can move forward, not individually, but kind of as a collective, as a group, if you will. I will say this. The cool thing about Heroes Media Group is we've created an environment to where anybody could call a show host that's on the network. If they need something, somebody's always willing to give a hand. And I think that's pretty cool.
This is interesting. It's like, to me, the sign of a true hero is one who feels uncomfortable being called one. And I'm curious if, because what you're talking about before is everyday heroes, people a neighbor who might help out, save your cat, or the harrowing, like rescuing from a fire situation, and there's a big range. And here you are helping to give people a voice who might not have otherwise been heard. And like you said, was it 17,000?
Like episodes, shows, yeah. I mean, it's somewhere along that line over the last decade.
Yeah. It's like the Jon Snow. Will never call himself a hero and saves the realm. Yeah. Do you feel like there's with the folks who, with these everyday heroes, you think feel similarly they wouldn't call themselves heroes?
I think a lot of them feel the same way. In the veteran community, I know that's a big thing. I have family members that are in law enforcement. I have family members that are firefighters. My wife's a medical professional. She was a bedside nurse. She's a nurse practitioner now. My son's in the military. I mean, you ask anybody, they're just like, you hear it, and not to sound cliches, but we're doing our job. And it's like, well, why are you doing your job? Well, I'm doing my job because I enjoy helping other people. Another big factor onto why I started Heroes Media Group. I hate mainstream media because I think it's a propaganda machine. I don't care what side of the aisle. I don't care what race you are. It does not matter. But the propaganda machine is in full effect, and it tries to fill and meet someone's narrative. And that's just my opinion. To go back to what I said was change people's mindset to be more positive. I think if the three of us sat down here and actually thought about more positive stories of things that are going on that aren't shared in the world today, you would find that there are more positive things going on than the negative BS that we see on the news today. So I know the only way to do that, to change people's mindset and to be more positive, is we just have to start slow and just continue to move forward with things. And that's my take on it.
I think it's one of the difficult things with any of us, when what we consume and what we are attracted to, and by that I mean, rubbernecking at the accident. We can't help but look at those. We can't help but look at it, and because of our negativity bias and like the brain going, pay attention to this and put more weight on this. How do we increase the appetite for news that nourishes, or stories that nourish, more than those that agitate and divide?
Well, here's the thing. Everybody loves negativity, right? Because that's what we've been trained, or that's what we've been groomed, however you want to say it, to be. I had an investor come in and offer me several hundreds of thousands of dollars to partner with me a couple years ago. And I said, great. And I showed him the business model. I said, we're going in a positive light. He's like, yeah, Positive isn't sexy. That doesn't sell. And I won't repeat what I said, but it wasn't kind. And I said, you can take your money and there's the door. And I threw in a few other words, use your imagination. But it's not about money for me. If it was, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. If my background would be a beach or on a yacht or something like that, right? It's not about the money. It is about finding the purpose and changing people's lives.
It actually makes me think of imagining if every kid, for example, got an assignment that they had to go create their own little media empire, or like you have to go and report on your community and go find stories about your own heroes. And I'm just imagining if we encourage that from a young age, how amazing that would be. Plus how adorable if we had all the kids making their superheroes from around the neighborhood.
Yeah. Tommy's got a lemonade stand down here on 5th and 12th right now. You know, just like, yeah, I think that would be, and imagine how much, here's something to think about too, is when you say that is, you know, kids at a young age, they still have their innocence about them. How cool would that be if the world still had some of its innocence? Like we're older, we kind of lost that because we've been groomed or trained or we've been, I don't want to say corrupted, but we're all adults here. I mean, in some form or fashion of something. How cool would it be if we just brought back some of our innocence when we were little? Look, and the only way we're going to change as a society if we start changing, and it's going to take a handful of people to do it. I'm crazy enough to think that eventually someday things will change, you know. I'm crazy enough to think that we can change the world. You know, what would I be doing if I wasn't doing this? Probably fishing or just being grumpy or starting another business just because I can't sit still. That's the truth.
It's like this idea of stubborn optimism and stubborn consistency.
Good phrase too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Stubborn optimism.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りいたしました。
They say I'm weird, they remind me I have nowhere to go. They think I'm scared, but I'm not. Standing tall with a glow. Get a grip, I will fix any lore that you know. I'm the lord of the strange, I'm a spark on the road. Words out with some malice and some carving in stone. A burnt ladder, I'm damaged, but I'm never alone. It's me and Neshu, and we'll let you get in tune with the tone. Get the message, it is chaos, I'm here on the phone. Hello? Like a ghost in a spin, so hidden in your face, like the hair on my chin. Let me think. Take a breath with a grin. I'm too weird to fail. Get the book for the win. We out.
I just want to listen to that when I'm sad.
What's your advice to people who feel like they're trapped in negative spirals or feel cynical that they can get out of it? What would you encourage?
You woke up this morning so you could feel like crap. So there's your positive. You woke up this morning, so there's your positive. It starts with
Embrace
that one.
the suck.
Yeah, I have a shirt that says "Embrace the suck." Actually, it's like you have to. You woke up this morning, so you have something to be thankful for. Life can suck, and a lot of the times when you're going through something, you have to realize one, you probably don't have much control over the situation. Okay. But you can control your reaction to that situation. You can choose to learn from it. And the biggest thing is your mindset. You have to understand that whatever situation that you're going through, whether it's 2 weeks long, a month long, a year long, whatever, it's only temporary. It's not always going to be there. You have to choose to continue to move forward regardless of what all of this BS is over here. You decide that. So when you start harnessing in that, you know what? Yeah, today sucks, but I woke up. Today sucks, but I had a cup of coffee. Today sucks, but I got to eat. Because today, someone didn't wake up, someone didn't get their coffee, and there's plenty of people out there that didn't get to eat today. It starts with us. It starts with your mindset.
Yeah, small gratitudes. I'm also curious about if we had more exposure to folks who have been through real hardship, and not to dismiss people who have, not to dismiss anyone's hardship, but, you know, people who, like you said, lost all of their limbs, have had their whole family taken from them, that sort of thing. I think that also helps to build perspective. Listening to some of the stories that are on the podcast that you put out there.
I've known people with all the money in the world and have been miserable. And I met this gentleman. I knew a guy who was a homeless man. His name was TJ, and this was, God, I was 25 years ago or so. And I was working at a bar, and he would come in on Wednesday nights, and he was a homeless guy, and everybody knew him. He was super nice. He'd order a hamburger, a beer, and he'd stay for like an hour, and then he would leave. And I got to chatting with him. I was like, TJ, I was like, you're homeless. I was like, but you come in here every Wednesday night, you bowl every Friday night. I was like, how do you make money? He's like, I donate plasma. I was like, does it suck being homeless? And I was in my early 20s at the time, so I was ignorant. And he's like, it's the best thing in the world. And I was like, and he taught me, he's like, Adam, it's a mindset for people. People think that I'm miserable. He's like, I get to sleep under the stars every night. I can come and go anywhere, anytime, anywhere. I don't bother anybody. I make my money. I get to come, I get to bowl every week. I get to have a burger and a beer once a week. I go to the YMCA in a shower, wash my clothes, all this other stuff, blah, blah. He's like, life is great. To this date, happiest person I've ever met in my life was a homeless man in the desert down in Tucson, Arizona.
There's an Oscar Wilde quote, one of my favorites. Is, we're all in the gutter. It's just some of us are looking up at the stars.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love that.
And to have that perspective, so talking about cognitive defense and resiliency, you can own that. You can create the strongest cognitive defense and resiliency by putting that into practice, right? And to your point earlier, Adam, like this, when you wake up and you feel like things suck, but guess what? First thing, you woke up. If you could just focus on that for just one extra second, how that could help you have a stronger mind and have fewer things, you'd be less easily manipulated. Well, how do we go about addressing that and getting people to be more human to each other? How
hard is it to sit down with? I love having conversations with people that I might not agree with something with, because you learn something from it. And isn't that what life's all about? Aren't we supposed to be learning every day?
Agree.
And here's the other thing. You might not change my mind this time, but that's not to say, like, you know what? I'm really starting to see why they feel that way, or vice versa for that matter. But I'm not going to punch you in the throat because I don't agree with you on something, at least not on camera.
Well, speaking of conversations with people, is there, let's say we are feeling super spicy about the neighbor is angry because I didn't lock the porta potty. True story. And
I haven't heard that one, but another time. Go on.
There's so many things. I got questions already. Okay.
And it's like an issue, like they want to have me removed from the neighborhood, and it's just like really causing a lot of stress, and I want to, knock over the fence, whatever. Let's say it's escalating. Is there like a practice or something that you do to go, wait a minute, can we pause for a second and actually see eye to eye so we don't, so we don't get into the kinetic warfare that we later regret and both of our houses are smoldering in ruin? Like, what is there some kind of trick that you use or question that you ask?
I think first and foremost, after a night of binge drinking, no, I'm kidding. I think what you really need to do in all seriousness is step away from the situation. Like if you, now my question to you is, am I having this conversation with the neighbor or this argument with the neighbor face to face right now? If I am, then if I am, I step away. You step away and start doing things that calm you down. So wait maybe a day or two and then approach the neighbor and say, listen, I was out of line the other day. Whether you were or not, be the bigger person. Help me understand where you are and why you feel the way that you do about the situation at hand. I want to work this out. Help me understand. Chances are that person's going to be on fire still, or they're not going to want to sit down. Cool thing is you're in your right frame of mind. You've de-escalated the situation because you walked away from it the other day, so things wouldn't escalate into things that could really get people hurt or in bigger trouble. Help me understand so we can get over this hump and move forward. Sometimes the hero is the one that walked away from it, that walked away from the situation, so they can analyze and they can come back with a clear mind and then try to make things right.
This was just a good question, help me understand. It's such a simple thing that if we all did a little bit more, can you help me understand why you're feeling that way? Or how can I do better next time? And
if that doesn't work, next time they're in the porta potty, push it over.
Oh, there you go. Tip it.
You'll have a good story. That'll be on the news. So,
yeah. Are you okay?
Mainstream news.
No. You push it over, and then you come running to their aid. Like, oh my gosh, what happened?
Oh,
you have both sides. You have two stories.
Brilliantly manufactured.
That guy just jumped the fence and ran back. Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Now who's the hero?
Is there any other? Actually, I didn't ask this earlier, and I was curious about your perspective on biases or things that people think about people who have never served in the military, don't have veterans in their family. What are some common misconceptions people have, and how can you help them understand better?
Not everybody is a killer, and it hurts me to say that. I'll be honest. There's a lot of people like, oh, you join the military, so you go out and you're full of piss and vinegar, and you think you can do whatever you want. No, it doesn't work that way. We go overseas, and all we want to do is destroy everything. Not all people. There are certain units that's part of their job, but not every military person is wired that way. Not every military person is trained that way or does that kind of thing. That's not. Most people that get into the military legitimately care about, defending our freedoms that we have here in the United States. And that's the cool thing about it. I'll be honest with you. I joined because I needed money for college.
That was my mom.
And then I didn't use it. So who's the idiot? But when I got in, I found purpose. I found self-confidence. I found a lot of things that I had been lacking in my life up to that point. The military is the second greatest job I've ever had in life. First one is being a father. So, for those people that think, oh, the military is this or that, or there's never, nobody in the military has ever gone overseas to fight for some senator or whatever. That's not what they do. Military people, they go through a lot of hardships, and it's because they believe that this country and the people that live here are worth fighting for and protecting.
Adam, is there any other project or how can people find you? Is there anything that you'd like to promote?
Oh, so thank you for that. I can be found on all social platforms. My personal is at Mr. Adam Bird. It's BIRD, like a bird that flies. On all platforms. My company, Heroes Media Group, you can find us on all social platforms at Heroes Media GRP or heroesmediagroup.com. And then my new venture that we've just launched, we're about 6 months into it. It's called Maker's Machine. It is if you think BNI, Toastmasters, networking, all kind of combined on steroids, It's nothing like that. It's it's an inner circle that we've created where we hold each other accountable. We help each other. Whether you're a business owner, a podcaster, a real estate person, anything, and you want like accountability partners and people to just bounce ideas off of. We meet every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you're interested, you can reach out to me on the social platforms at Mr. Adam Bird, and I'd be happy to help you out. But yeah, that's it.
I kind of want to give you like a really special thank you for being here. And Jocelyn already had the crazy enough to kind of like start this podcast, and there's things that we want to do to kind of really see where the ceiling is on this. I'm trying to see again if I'm crazy enough to kind of pursue them, and hearing again your story and you starting off where you kind of didn't know anything and kind of seeing where it kind of built up to now. Again, I know you don't want to be called a hero, but I just wanted to say, I really appreciated this conversation.
I appreciate that. And let me say this. I've watched several of you guys' episodes, and the first conversation that we had, I was like, oh, these two are special. You guys are doing something special. Really. And things in life that are worth having aren't easy. You guys are needed. This show is needed, and it's changing people's lives. And I love the conversations that you have. I want to thank you guys for asking me to come on this show. I think you guys put on a great show. I absolutely love it. And if there's ever anything that I can do for you guys, you guys always have an open mic. You guys know how to reach me, so don't hesitate to reach out. And in fact, I expect to hear from you guys.
Thanks for that, sir.
Thank you.
We interrupt this episode to say, if you've ever felt really alone and didn't know where to turn, may we suggest, put the picture over here, Elle Yonker. Elle is what national security should look like. She protects people online as a cybersecurity expert, but she also shows up for people in crisis through the Hive Social Garden, which helps folks find real support when things get hard. Her website, thehivesocial.garden. She's our first recurring sponsor. Thank you eternally for that, which feels exactly right. Elle, this is for you and for everybody listening. Please go to her website, thehivesocial.garden. Feel free to bother her on LinkedIn. She'll probably appreciate it. Now, back to the show.
I've come to talk with you again.
Come and be inside my head. Cancel me, cancel me. I got things to say, you can cancel me. Cancel me, cancel me. I got things to say, you can cancel me. Cancel me, cancel me. I got things to say, you can cancel me. It's only a matter of time till we all win. Cancel the mistake. It's only a matter of time till we all win. Cancel the mistake. It's only a matter of time till we all win. Cancel the mistake. Cancel me. Cancel me. Cancel me. I got things to say. You can cancel me. Cancel me. Cancel me. I got things to say. You can cancel me. Cancel me. Cancel me. I got things to say. You can cancel me.